All right. Hey there, everybody. We made it to the end of the week. Christopher Inks with Texas West Capital. It is about, what is it? Just a few minutes after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Friday the 30th of July. In case you're wondering what month it was, guys, 2021. Always great to have you all showing up. And man, oh man, I just want to say something here real quick. I had a person here, right here. Looks like Dave Lamb 11. Somebody was asking about good human beings and traders or whatever, and they listed me, as a good human being. And I'm going to tell you guys, honestly, that's probably one of the biggest, just one of the biggest, compliments that I could ever get. At the end of the day, no matter what you're doing, anybody can learn to trade, guys. Anybody can get here and be as good as or even better than I am. And that's what I always hope, that you're going to get that point. But, being recognized as a good human being by somebody else, that's what makes a difference. That's pretty freaking awesome. So I appreciate you saying so. If you're watching, seriously, I can't. It really it makes me feel amazing, and I do appreciate it. So that's the goal at the end of the day, guys. It's to be that to be recognized as a good human being, because at the end of the day, there's so many people out there who don't try, or worse yet, choose to be the other. They choose to do the other thing, and it doesn't do anything for the world. It doesn't make the world a better place. I know everybody goes, "Oh man, what can I do? I'm just one person." Well, you know what? At the end of the day, guys, all it takes is one person. You never know if the person you're talking to is going to grow up or to change careers to be, a doctor, or some lawyer working for civil rights, a doctor that discovers a cure for cancer. I mean, there's all this thing. Everybody believes that, that they're just themselves and they can't do anything to really affect the world in a positive way. But, if we all take it, to be something that you do on a daily basis, you look, you try and just, if everything you're doing helps one person, then you can consider it a success. If everybody had that attitude, I think the world would be a genuinely better place. You're still going to be the idiots. They're going to be in charge, and the idiots are going to try and ruin the good stuff that you have. But that's their bad decisions. That's on them, not on you. All right. So anyway, I just want to say thank you for that, because it really made me feel good to see somebody say that. Because at the end of the day, that's what I go for. That's the most important thing to me, to be a good person, to be a good father. So. Who else here already? Nevlusian, what's up? Ross Mark checking in. Alex checking in from Lake Villa, Illinois. What's up, man? Good to see you here. Bill checking in from across the water over there. He says a monsoon-soaked UK. Y'all getting some rain over there, huh? Man, you know what it is over here. I talk about it every so often. A lot more recently than I have over the last few months. We've been getting some rain over here, which has been a great thing, because we've been in a heat wave for so dang long. This drought for so dang long. So we'd love to see some more water coming in and fill up the lakes and rivers and whatnot, especially during the summer, when that's what we do around here, guys. We go float the river, or we jump out on the lake, or go to the beach if we feel like taking a few-hour trip down south. Oh, let me see who else here. Hank, what's up, man? Michael's here. Let's see here. I know I'm going to screw this up, and I apologize ahead of time. Afzal from Dubai. Good to have you checking in. Let's see here. Lumpy? Is that what it is there? Even with my glasses, it's still hard to see sometimes with the colors. But good to see you checking in as well. Data's here. Michael, you like my ability to consider differing price paths? That's the thing, and I think Michael's saying that. Michael, I believe you're in Discord with us, right? So I think you're talking about what happened last night with Discord, right? With the update for Bitcoin, where I said, listen, here's the big, I went into some technicals about the lower time frame, and I said, but at the end of the day, we're in this range, and if we go above it, here's our targets. If we drop below it, here's our targets. And this morning, rallying right off the target. So we'll see what happens with it as well. But, that's the important thing, guys, as traders. You want to be able to understand what price may be doing that especially if it's doing something different than what you were looking for it to do. It's very important to do that. Otherwise, you're just kind of stuck in the water without any oars, right? You're just kind of sitting there with the tide, with the as it's moving out there, and that's basically your emotion. And you're trading based on your emotion, and that's not going to win you any money, guys. Let me see here. You want to be a good human, but they also tell you to be yourself. Kind of stuck. Oh, man. Being a good human's a great thing. Hey there, Diego. Good to see you. Samir checking in. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you here. Block Tech, as always, checking in. Crypto Neo, what's up? Sver's here. Let me see here. Yeah, Michael, you talk about last night's update? Yeah. You know, again, I do the thing. You know, I get in there into the nit and grit of it, and I say, listen, if we're looking at this, then maybe we're looking at this, or that. But, you know, big picture, for those that don't want to concentrate that locally, is we're in this range. And either we're going to break out or we're going to break down. And so if we break down, there's our targets. If we break out, there's our targets. And it's all set. Makes it a little bit easier as well on there. Let me see here. Diego, you were looking at different counts as well. Now you're cleaning all that mess out of your charts, right? That's what it means, man. You know, trading is messy at times, right? Hey there, Andrew. Good to see you. Hank making a joke there. Let me see here. DeWads, what's up, man? Good to see you here. That's right, Samir. One step at a time. As long as you're moving forward, that's all that matters. You know, I know many times we get caught up, not just in trading, but in life, trying to get well ahead of where we were. But we do that to the detriment of just not paying attention to the fact that we're still moving. You know, and I talk about this a lot because psychology, understanding yourself and what you're doing, your emotion and everything, is really important to being able to trade successfully. And so a lot of times as human beings, you know, we tend to give ourselves a hard time if we're not getting where we think we want to get overnight. And we fail to step back and look and go, okay, well, you know what? We're moving forward. As long as you're moving forward, that's what it's all about. All right? Don't worry that you don't get there, you know, overnight or yesterday or something. Life's too short to be worried about, you know, getting the overnight and whatever as long as you are moving forward, that's the key. And like I said, that goes with trading, that goes with life. So just keep doing it, guys. One step at a time there. Hey, listen, you can join us over here at howtotradetowin.com. We'd love to have you there. Our sale, guys, is ongoing there. There's the link. There's the quote. The coupon. Make sure you type the coupon as it's shown there. You know, the capital O, the capital T, whatever. 50% off tier 3. And you can get in on a 6-month or a 12-month subscription with us for a really ridiculous price. Something we've never done before. So take advantage of it while you can. That offer ends on the 1st of August. That's just a couple of days, guys. So make sure you jump in there. We'd love to have you there. All the stuff we do, you can go over to howtotradetowin.com and get a little bit of it there. You know, come over here, see what we do. 3 live streams a week for our tier 3 members. One deals with Wyckoff charts. The next one deals with rules-based strategies, tips, tricks, and techniques. And then the third one deals with Elliott Wave charts. So good stuff, you know, chart critiques, chart requests, all that fun stuff. By the way, if you haven't done it yet, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put this in here for you as well. Elliott Wave International is doing another free event right now, and they're doing it through the 6th of August. And I believe they just released some cryptocurrency charts and stuff and whatnot in there. Doesn't cost you anything. Just join their free little EWI club, and you'll get access to this, and you'll get updates whenever they have. Multiple times throughout the year, they have free information that they give out, free analysis and stuff like that. The goal is hopefully to get you to join them. But even if you don't, you'll have access to all that free stuff throughout the year. So make sure that you're taking advantage of it, guys. There really is just, you know, again, I try to do what I can here to get you guys free stuff and, you know, free information and things that'll help you out. So jump on that, okay? High or low, man. I love having you in there, buddy. Hey there, Chris Baker. Always good to see you, man. Checking in there. Ernest of Gaius checking in. Seeing you here. By the way, y'all did ask me, and they're not doing the sale at the moment, but you can still get 15 days free to check them out. And if I get a chance here during this session, this stream here, I'll bring up my Motive Wave and show you there. You can get a 15-day or a 14-day free trial using that there. They've got a whole bunch of cool stuff like a Elliott Wave scanner, automated Elliott Wave counts and whatever. It won't. You still got to know what you're doing. You still got to understand Elliott Wave, because sometimes the counts aren't going to be, correct. But it kind of warns you when things, like if it gives you a count in there and wave 3 is the shortest, it'll, put a little warning up there, and then you have to go and look and go, okay, well, maybe they just miscounted in this area here, because it's all, it's automated. But I'll see if I can bring that up here at the end, so you guys check that. You can also get, like I said, Elliott Wave scans of the markets to find like wave 2s, wave 4s, wave E's of triangles. Great at, potential entries. You can do Elliott Wave scans of patterns, harmonic patterns like Gartley's and whatnot. Whole bunch of stuff. So, 14 days free. Try it out, guys. See if you like it. I use it when I'm doing my trading. I do this right here with what we're about to get into here at with TradingView for our members, and then for what we're doing here, because it's just quick and easy, because you all use it mostly. But for me personally, I do enjoy Motive Wave, so be sure to check it out. Let me see here. Support at 35,500. Mr. Andrews asking. Let's see, this USD CAD. We'll take a look at that in a bit. So 35.5. You're looking at, how far are you looking down here? Yeah, potentially. This kind of gets you the range high here. If we zoom out here a little bit, see if I can get this to catch up with me. Yeah, my range high right there. Yeah, we can definitely look for that. But before we do, I don't think it's necessarily over with yet. Now, one of the scenarios that I posted for Discord last night was the idea that maybe we've got 5 up here, okay? And so then this becomes wave 1 of circle 5, okay? So in other words, the rally isn't complete yet. And in that case, we've got, we've got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for A. And then we've got a triangle for B. So you have A, B, C, D, E. And then we have 5 down for, as in any diagonal here, for wave C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can notice it hit the top of my target box right here. And then it, caught a bit off that, rallied off, and it's heading up now. We can also note that that it's right there, below the 50 and just above the 61.8. So, a decent wave 2 pullback. It's just beyond the pattern target here based on the height of the triangle here, which, which is what you would expect, right? So it becomes simple now. We do have 5 down from here. Now, what are other ways you could look at it? You could maybe, I don't know here, you could maybe look at this as, like, this is finished up here. This is wave 5, wave circle 5, which is why I have this. Because if it is, that would mean that it's just wave B, and we've got wave C heading down below 28,000. Okay? But here's the kicker. If this is only wave 1 of 5, then that extends the likelihood that this is actually wave 3 of a rally off the bottom, which means the bottom is likely in. So we need to see what goes on here. Now, if I'm looking at this, my first thought is, okay, we've got this A, B as a triangle, and C down. We've got this as 5 waves down here. So if we're breaking up above this swing high right here, what is that right there at 40,418 basically? If we're breaking out above that, then to me that's the first clue that this count is probably correct here. The wave 2 of 5, and we're going to break out further here. So further breakout above the swing high will add confidence to that. If, however, we drop down below the swing low here, then things start looking interesting. At that point, we have to go, okay, it may be topped out. It may just be a wave B. Because we've dropped down below, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so now we've gone up, and then we're dropping back below the 5, which means, that we've got another 5 coming in. But here's the thing. Let me zoom out here a bit. If we look, remember, the idea is that this is either A, B, C, and then we've got, to finish off wave B here, and then we've got wave C dropping down below the swing low. Or this is a 1, and instead of having a wave B flat correction, it's a wave 2 flat correction. Right here. And so, okay, so if this is wave 2 here, here's where things get kind of fun, because remember, generally we look for wave C to about equal wave A. If it gets up around 1618 on the extension there, that usually means it's more likely to be a wave 3. And as you can see, we're just above that 1618. Doesn't mean it can't be wave C and completing, and then, wave B is done now and we're coming down. But it does mean that you should have pause if that's what you're thinking. So if this is 5 done from the bottom here, and if this is a 1, 2, 3, then we're going to look for a wave 4 pullback. So this is why I said if it breaks down below this morning swing low, it may be, let me kind of get these things out of the way here. It may be wave B is complete, but it also may be just that wave 3 of this first wave 1 is working out, right? And so then we've got, it's topped here, and then we've got wave 4 on the pullback. So wave 4, we generally look for the 38.2 or the 50% on the pullback, right? If we look at this, that 38.2 is right there around 36,000. It's right there at the EQ of our range. And that would make, a pretty solid reversal area. So my thought is if we're breaking down below this morning swing low, I'm going to look, maybe we've got an A and a B, and then we've got a 1, 2, 1, 2. So we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, gives us 3, 4, 5, gets us down here. Until we're actually dropping below this 34,600 area right here, there's still a strong possibility this is just a wave 4, a large wave 4, and we're heading up. Once we get below that, then the odds really go the other way, and we start looking at this being wave B finished up here. But guess what? It's okay not to jump in right away. It's okay to wait for confirmations, because if this is wave B and we've got a wave C down, you're going to have thousands of dollars of lower movement here. And you'll be able to get into it, scenario. Like I said, you could go short potentially on a breakdown of the 50% retracement right there. If the bottom is in over here and this is 5 working up, well, guess what? You're going to get a 5 up here at around 47,326, and then you're going to pull back. That'll give you a 1 up, and then you're going to pull back. Or in the case that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll get your 5 up there. Or if this is 3 and this is 1 of 5, you're still going to get up here. There's just different possibilities here. Again, it could all be done, and we're heading down lower, in which case we need to break down below today's swing low and get down below 34,600. And that'll increase the odds that this is wave B and we've got wave C going down to at least 23,000 area. But if it's going to go up, there's a couple different possibilities. Again, the idea that we're getting a 1, 2, and then we'll be working on a 3 of 5 of 3 here. See? We could still be working on this wave 3, this large wave 3. Or again, wave 3 has completed down here, in which case wave 4 will get at the 38.2 or the 50, and then we'll break up here for wave 5. In either one of those cases, you're looking at getting back above 44,000. You're looking at heading up there above 44,000. And I think most likely, in either one of those cases, I think we're heading up toward this daily supply structure here from about 46,750 to the EQ at about 48,400. That's kind of my ultimate target. If we can break out above this swing high here, that's my target area right there, ultimately. No matter what the count is, that's where I'm looking to get to. So you don't even have to, again, take into your mind all these different counts, the way this could play out. You just need to know that if it breaks up out of this swing high here, well, first you've got a pattern target based on the height of the range here of 43,059 or so. And then you can look, you can look at, I've got the R3 1 hour pivot here at 43,621. And then you can look at the green box. It's as simple as that, guys. If we break out, those are the 3 targets I would look at. Don't even worry, you don't even have to understand the rest of everything else. But if we break down below, I'm looking for a reversal here at either the 35,992 or here at about 34,594. And then again, heading up to the green box. The problem with the 50% is it pulls it back into wave 1 here. So I'm not a big fan of that. Could it be some sort of leading diagonal? Sure, but if we're pulling back into that, I'm really thinking it's done. It's heading lower. So I'm really looking at the 38.2, and again, the 38.2 finds confluence with the EQ there. But that's only if we break down below this morning. As long as we stay above this morning, your bias should be to the upside. Let's get this over here. And so again, if we look at this, we've got maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we might get a bit of a pullback, or we might have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 1, 2. But all you really need to worry about is, does it drop below this swing low? As long as it's not below that swing low, I think you're all right to still look further upside. Let me see here. Samir says, I came into this space when Bitcoin was at 60K and went all in, and then correction happened. The past couple of months taught me what I wouldn't have learned in years if the bull run had continued. Yeah, I mean, and unfortunately, Samir, that's what happens to most traders. They get drawn in and they watch it, and it's going up, and they're like, nah. And then finally at the apex of all that excitement, that euphoria, and everybody's laser eyes and all the other silly stuff that goes on out there, that's when when retail generally jumps in. It happened in 2017 at the top, there in December at the top of the bull run. It happened in June of 2019 when we had that move up into whatever it was, 13,000 area there, and then before we pulled back. And here it did happen again at the top again. But, the good thing about that is to say, okay, well, I'm not special, which means I can forgive myself for making that mistake, and now I can move on and I can learn. As long as you can forgive yourself for what it is, you'll be fine. You'll be great. Because at least you've got the opportunity then to learn. But as long as you continue, as long as if you're a trader and you do something like that, and you continue to give yourself a hard time, you don't allow yourself to move on from that, you'll never be able to get beyond. You won't be able to learn what you need to learn to trade correctly. So yeah. Let's see here. What's going on, Bianca? Good to see you. Silvio checking in as well. Hey there, Moogs. What's going on? What exchanges can you use to trade Bitcoin in Texas? You can use Kraken. You can use you can use Bittrex. I'm not sure all the exchanges you can use here in Texas. I think Binance US you still can't use here, and I think same thing goes with FTX US. But I know you can use in Texas here. You can use Kraken, and you can use Bittrex to do it. So yeah, to trade cryptos. Yeah. Let's see here. Do I ever check out the Ichimoku cloud, the daily support cloud, and the 3-day resistance cloud also suggest similar TA? Every once in a while I'll pull it up. If we wanted to throw it on, or you said what, the daily? Or did you say the weekly? No, daily, you said. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so daily. Let's go right here. Let's see here. Ichimoku cloud. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. Throw that up here real quick. There we go. Yeah, so you're getting that resistance right on that daily. I think this is set to just normal, right? Yeah. So yeah, hitting that daily right there, pulling back. I mean, if you can get a break out of there, you should, generally indicate we're going up. Flat clouds, if you're above them, they denote strong areas of support. If you're below them, they denote strong areas of resistance with Ichimoku cloud. 3-day gives this nice little area right here that price could poke through. Really thin cloud right there. What is that? That's up there around the 17th of August. Other than that, it's going to have some work to do through the clouds here, but it did flip right there. And right now it is expanding, but we'll see what goes on. Remember, this is 3 days, so it's based on all this, Ichimoku isn't a leading indicator, so don't forget that, guys. But yeah, possibility there. You've got a 3-day bullish engulfing right there, and then follow through, which seems to suggest a reversal. But the question is, can you get above the swing high here? I mean, right now, we've hit the, let me see here. This wave 4 area, this box was what we were targeting from down here at the bottom. And so we're in there at, right around that R1 pivot right there on the daily. Wave 4 is just up here a bit higher at that 43,300 kind of area. So, see if I can get this to catch up with me there. Yeah, so wave 4 is up here a bit, which is, right below that harder bit of resistance. So, yeah, I mean, here's the one thing, during the daily here, we had a lot of volume. We had a volume spike on this large daily right here on the 26th. And we closed back down pretty well. We have a nice large upper wick. But we didn't get any follow through to the downside there. So we had a ton of supply show up. And, it took out a lot of demand there. But then over the next 2 days, it made a new higher high. So demand was still there. So, you kind of expect to see a bit of a pullback in this area before it potentially pushes through. Now, that's not guaranteed it will. But possibly. As a matter of fact, the more bullish today's candle can complete here, if it can complete below or above the 28th of July where it opened, if it can, close above that, that adds a lot of potential bullishness and the idea that, this is a 4 or, wave 2 of 5 or a wave 4 heading up. So breaking out above this level would be a very a bullish move. Breaking above this resistance here, the R1 pivot on the daily here, getting up above that. But, we are at the end of the month, and we'll have to see where the next pivots are drawn for August. We can't use Femix legally. I say legally. It goes against the terms of service to use it in Texas. But I know, some of you guys use VPNs and all that, or, a lot of our members like you, Silvio, are from over, in another country, and you can use it just fine. But here in Texas, if we're to use it, we'd have to use a VPN to access it. So, yeah. Oh, Gemini Exchange. Yeah. I forget about Gemini because I never use it. I'm not a fan of the Winklevi, the Winklevoss twins. And so I've never really used their Gemini. Oh, you can use Coinbase here in Texas, too. You can use Coinbase Pro. I wouldn't use Coinbase. I'd use Coinbase Pro. Coinbase will charge you a lot. It's not a real trading platform, so it'll charge you out the rear end to make trades. Coinbase Pro, though, is the, and if you open a Coinbase account, you can get a Coinbase, you can switch it right over to Coinbase Pro, and then you'll get a lot cheaper fees on the trades there. So, yeah. Let me see here. Um, hey, man, Texas got a lot of land for ranches, that's for sure. Samir. Let me see here. Yeah, the itchy cloud works pretty good. If you understand what you're doing there, if you understand about the crosses here with the lines, and then you understand what the cloud itself means, sure, you can definitely use it to help you get some more generalized kind of ideas of support and resistance, or maybe give some support to the idea that a trend change has occurred. Sure, yeah. Let me see here. Michael, what's up, man? Michael Otis there saying he just got a notification that he can now apply for a Coinbase card. Yeah, I think I got that at some point too. Isn't that like where it attaches to your crypto account and you can spend your crypto via the card, something like that? I think that's what it is. I don't know that I'm all interested in doing that, but I guess the option's there if you like that, right? Is Litecoin the same or more bullish than Bitcoin as far as comparing charts and possible edge? I'll have to take a look at that. The real player, guys, if you're tier 2 or tier 3 with us, we do the daily updates. And if you've been paying attention to that, XRP was the real one to be in this week, really. Or over the last few days anyway. They popped up almost 20% the one day and then continued up the next day and, continued up. So XRP seemed to have been the leader for those large cap alts that we kind of track along with. So we'll see what goes on with it. Let me see here. Michael Otis is saying 4% cash back in crypto debit card. Oh, okay. So kind of like that Fold card then. Okay, yeah. Where they give you, you give your cash back in Bitcoin. So, if I guess something like that's good. I'm not so sure it's good to spend crypto with it, but like the Fold card, I don't know if y'all have seen that. It's a prepaid debit card, basically. And if you're spending money anyway, let's say you're spending money on bills, bills that you're going to pay every day, right? Pay every month, right? So something like that might be good for you if you're interested in it. I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know what it is. Just Google Fold card. But yeah, when you do that, those purchases that you make every month, if you pay your rent with your card, if you pay your groceries, your internet, your electric, all that kind of stuff with your card, then being able to do that and getting cash back in crypto, in Bitcoin, which has the potential to rise in value, I mean, that's almost a no-brainer, right? If you're paying the bills anyway. Now, if you're going to go in there and just spend extra just so you can get extra, I think you're better off just buying crypto. But yeah, if you're using those types of things to pay bills that you would normally pay anyway, yeah, I think it's a pretty smart thing to do. Get you free, it basically gets you free Bitcoin, right? For doing things that you're already doing anyway. So definitely something to consider. It's just a little bit of a hassle having to go through the whole preload and whatever with your cash on you, like I said, with the Fold card or something like that. If crypto, if the Coinbase card, if you can use it to spend your USDC or cash account that you have with them, then, that could work out well for that as well. Sure. Can you buy XRP again? Sure you can. You've never been able to stop. Some places didn't allow it to be traded anymore, but there were still some out there. Yeah. It wasn't like it completely disappeared or anything. I warned everybody when everybody was all freaking out about it, and it did that crash down because everybody thought it was going to get removed from everywhere. I told them, I said, what's probably going to happen is exactly what's happening here. It won't die off. And it'll rise back up, and the people who are buying at that low, which at the time was the low, are going to enjoy a lot of upside to this with XRP. And again, guys, I still don't think what's going on in court with XRP is going to be any real big deal at the end of the day. I think they're going to come out with some sort of worst case scenario. They're going to come out, I still think, with some sort of slap on the hand, fine, And they'll be fine. They'll be able to stay in business. And then everybody who sold at a loss because they were worried about it are going to be like really kicking themselves. Yeah. So, great way to evade taxes. What are you talking about? I hope nobody's trying to evade taxes. Yeah. Evade taxes, man. I can't even imagine doing that. You know, guys, I'm going to tell you, and I pay a lot of taxes. I probably pay more taxes than most of y'all out there, if not all of y'all out there. And I hate it. I hate it with a passion. But I do it. I do it because I don't want to go to jail. I like making money, which is what I'm doing. So, you know, I just kind of suck it up and deal with it until I've had, you know, finally had too much of it and move somewhere where I ain't got to worry about it. But, yeah, I mean, I hope you guys aren't trying to evade tax, especially not here in the U.S. There's a lot of misinformation online, guys. A lot of people will tell you, oh, well, you know, you can just tell them, oh, you didn't know. It's not going to work, guys, especially not with crypto today. All the agencies are ramping up their crypto enforcements. IRS, SEC, you know, commodities, everything. And so if you're going in front of a judge for not paying your crypto taxes, I can all but guarantee you the judge is going to be like, you should have known. You should have known. You're doing something that you should have known you had to pay taxes on. And so that won't work as an excuse. You know, but here's the good thing, guys. If you haven't paid it in the past, man, get a hold of a lawyer. Just to pay him $100, $200, whatever, for a consultation, man, a tax lawyer, and discuss your situation with them. You know, you guys, you get so scared of spending money. You get scared of spending money to learn. You get scared of spending money to get yourself out of bad situations. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Sometimes you got to spend a little money to keep yourself from losing a lot. And so if you've done this thing where you haven't been paying your tax, especially here in the U.S., man, spend whatever it costs to get on a consultation with a good tax lawyer and talk to them, because, you know, I can't, obviously this isn't tax advice or legal advice here, but, you know, there are a lot of things that they can potentially do to help you out. And, you know, the IRS, really, at the end of the day, the IRS just wants their dang money. That's all they want. They don't care to stick you in jail. If they just want to make sure that you're compliant. So, you know, often the IRS is willing to take payments or whatever for back taxes that you haven't paid. Jump on there and do. You can even set it up online. You just file an updated tax form for the year that you screwed up with whatever taxes there or whatever, and then you go online and you go to the IRS site online. You sign up a long-term payment plan, 3 years, 5 years if you need to. And pay those taxes. Get them paid. The last thing you want, guys, is to have to go to court over not paying your taxes. Because if they say, hey, listen, you didn't pay them because you were trying to evade them, guess what? That's a federal offense. If you're convicted, you're going to federal prison. That's not fun. But anyway. Let me see here. Oh, tax evasion, debit cards to spend your crypto? Why would that be tax evasion? It's easy to track you. That's easy as heck to track you. You're not going to be evading anything. You're leaving a paper trail. Everybody was so excited about Bitcoin and crypto because they said, oh, I can be anonymous now. And what do we know? No, you can't be anonymous. It's especially easy to track you digitally. It's a lot easier to track you digitally than if you go up to somebody and you give them a $1,000 bill, $100 bill or something, or multiples of those $100 bills. That's hard to track because they don't have to claim that you gave it to them and you don't have to tell that you gave it to them. So they have to go third party. They have to say, okay, did you pull out this money from a bank or some kind of account? And the other person, oh, did you receive this money? I mean, it's a lot of work. Heck, online with everything in this public ledger, man, it makes it easy to track you. Don't ever forget that, guys. I think a lot of people are still with this ridiculous notion that you're not going to be tracked online. You know, with crypto, that it's anonymous and whatever. It is far from it, guys. Let's see here. Let me see. Still trying to catch up with you guys. Let's see here. Do I prefer folks to view your stream on YouTube or Twitch? I don't know that it ever really matters. I have a lot more viewers on YouTube than I do on Twitch. Guys, at the end of the day, I don't really make anything when I'm doing the streams at all. And so, you know, view it from wherever you want to view it from. I'm trying to make it available for you guys. I pay extra money to restream on multiple different platforms. And so if you've got another platform that you'd be interested, that you like better than YouTube or Twitch, let me know, you guys. And I'll see if I can add it to here. I can add a whole bunch of platforms to this restreaming. And so, you know, it'll give you the ability to watch on a platform that you're comfortable watching with. Yeah. Let's see here. Which exchange do I use? Oh, I don't like usually talking a whole lot about that. It makes it too easy to target. I mean, I'm sure you can understand that. You know, if I say, oh yeah, I'm using Exchange X, then all of a sudden everybody starts, you know, trying to compromise my account at Exchange X. You know, and I'm just not a fan. I mean, I do everything I can to limit my exposure, you know, counterparty risk and all that. But at the end of the day, I don't want to take the chances. So I'm sure you can understand that. Let me see here. So anyway, yeah. So you know, that's kind of what we're looking at here with this right here. God, I can't even see if I can get this. There we go. So now we're just going to see, you know, if we can continue this move up here. In terms of the cloud here on the 1 hour, you can see we're following that resistance on the bottom of the cloud. So, you know, like I said, maybe there might be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Might be able to pull back for a 3 if it takes some time going here and then pushes up through this area here right around, what is that, 2200, so 10 o'clock tonight, maybe? If this kind of just lazily moves over. But it could pop up and through. But you're still going to find that resistance, you know, right here at around 39, 395 or so. Then up there toward the top of the cloud. On the 1 hour anyway. On the 15-minute, you can see that we're butting right up against. We tried to pop into it, got rejected, butting right up against it here. But we've got this cross trying to make itself happen right here. This red line moving back up with that blue line right there. So when you hear people talk about TK crosses and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens here. But again, ultimately, guys, you just have to look at, does price fall below the swing low? If it does, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. So if it drops below it, you should be looking at least for 5 more waves down, at least. Potentially 3 up afterward and then 5 more down. Which again might get us to that larger range I was talking about, which would be a larger wave 4. But again, if you're dropping below that 50% area, I think you're just kind of, let's see if I can find it here. Where is it back here? Yeah, I think, you know, really if you drop below 38.2 here, if you're getting near this 50%, again, that takes you into wave 1. What would be wave 1 over here? And so at that point, I would be, yeah, the odds are likely that this is wave B completed up here. And we've got wave C down to probably around 23,000 at least. So, yeah. Let me see here. Let me see here. So the DXY this morning kind of really popped off. So I was talking I mentioned yesterday that the bottom might be in around this area. And so we got a little bit move up and we got to move down. And then this strong rally here. I say strong rally because if we zoom out to the 4 hour, we've got this nice large 4 hour bullish engulfing candle here, which rallied basically from the S3 pivot to the S2 pivot. Price is trying to find some support right now on the EQ area. But if this is 5 waves up, then we should look for it to come back down here about 50% to 91,986. So again, as long as it's above this swing low here, I think your bias is to the upside. You break out of this, you know, this descending range. You've got a target, pattern-based target there of 0.784 above the point of breakout, which should take it to the top of this descending channel, which it does. And then that gets you, you know, this wave 3 up here around 94.5. coming off that. But if you break down below this, now we're looking at, okay, well, if we lose this swing low over here at 91.513, then that invalidates this count as a 1-2-1-2 here. So we'd have to see how it continues to play out there. It's possible. Yeah. Maybe, this could be a 1 and this could just be a flat for a 2 that's playing out. So I can't say that's definitely going to be bearish if it breaks down here, because you can finagle an ABC down here and then an A. B is a triangle, but it goes A, B, C, D, E here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as an ending diagonal. So you can get that A, B, C up. And then you'd be looking for 5 down toward kind of where it's at here. So it could come down a little bit further, break down even. But, again, if it does drop below this wave 2 swing low here, then it does invalidate this count as it stands. But if you're getting a breakout above this descending channel resistance, that's your first clue the bottom's probably in. Further breakout above wave B here at 93.024 would add a lot of confidence to that. And, again, your wave 3 target being up there. And, again, if the DXY, if the dollar is rising, it's going to put downward price pressure on anything denominated in dollars. So Bitcoin could have extra trouble with it. Doesn't mean Bitcoin has to go down, but it just means that the road up isn't easy. So, yeah. So we'll have to see what's going on here with this. Right now it's just a pull back to the previous support right here. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all we've really done. Pushed up, came back, pulled back to this previous support area here. And then we're rallied strong off there. And we just need to see some continuation up there. Now, what's interesting, of course, is on the daily here, we bottomed out and oversold, and we're crossing bullishly right now. So a lot of room to, continue to move up there. In terms of this right here, we've got lower or higher lows in price there. And we've got lower lows here on the oscillator. So general-ish kind of hidden bullish divergence, which is just a continuation of the trend. This is the trend, right? So that's what we're kind of looking at. Remember, potential double bottom right here. So a breakout above this swing high gives you a pattern target of 97.626. Ultimately, we're looking for a breakout above wave 4 over here. I just want to remind you guys at 94.742 to start, to get the first macro clue that bottom may be in where it is down there. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Let me see here. Let me see. It says, I have a question. What do you think of bearish divergence on monthly Bitcoin? Kindly share your thoughts. Does that work? Let me see here. So if we're looking here at the monthly, I think we've looked at this before. And let me kind of bring this out here. I can turn off that cloud already. So, yeah, there's generally some bearish divergence here between, the 2007 or the 2017 all-time high there and then our all-time high here. But kind of like what I just said on that other one on the, what was it, daily on the DXY or whatever the chart I just showed you where I was talking about that hidden daily bear or hidden bullish divergence. And I said general-ish. And I said that because we had a lot of strong spikes, along the way in the RSI. And that kind of makes it questionable. So like in this right here, we have this strong move up in the middle right here. And with that strong move, if I'm looking at it, I'm looking at this right here is what I'm interested in. See, this top to this top and then this low to this low, which means this top to this top, which isn't bearish divergence. Now this top is lower than here. So general-ish kind of bearish divergence, but we've already come down from 65,000 down to 28,000. So it's possible that's been it. But again, it could continue lower, which then we've got the pivot, as we've talked about so much, down here right below that 23,000 at around 21,000. And as long as we're above, as long as we can get a bounce above that, we're good to go, right? And if we ended up dropping down to that, we could see bearish, or we could see Stochk RSI, of course, be down here. Now, the thing is, we've still only got, today and tomorrow left. So if today and tomorrow, if this monthly Stochk RSI is down and oversold, then it's going to lock in and oversold. It's reset then. And we could very easily see it turn around and head back up. Now, if I'm looking right here on the monthly, whoops, pull that over, there we go. Something I've talked about before is we had this strong volume, this strong spike of volume, large candle spread, right? If we look up here, this tells us the size of the candle spread, right? So if we go right here, $20,519.46. And then the next month, so last month, we have about 2/3 to 3/4 of that volume, right? So it's a pretty significant amount of that volume. And the candle spread is only 2,200. So we go from 20,500 to 2,200, basically 10% of what we had the month before, but our volume is 2/3 to 3/4 as much. So ultimately what it means is you had more effort and less result comparable to the previous month. And that usually is a sign of a bottom forming. This month, right now with where we're at, we have a bullish engulfing candle at the moment. And our volume is over half of what it was last month. So we have, a little bit more than half of the volume we had last month, but we have an entirely different thing. It's not even any longer getting to a smaller supply spread. It's flipped. We're higher than where we opened. So again, these three candles show us this change. This shows us the sellers in control, to the demand showing up, to the demand in control this month. And in doing so, it gives you these three wicks all around the same area. It gives you kind of this curling bottom down here. And so if I'm to look at that, especially depending on how this month ends, the higher up this month ends, the better. The more this looks like a likely reversal area. But again, we would still need follow through next month. But looking at the monthly, if all you're looking at is this, this high to this high over here, you might be missing what's going on here and ignoring the fact that you've got this large movement up in the middle right here. Because that's that move from 3,100 up here to 13,800, 13,900 area. So that was a strong move up, almost taking us to the 19.5 area up here at the all-time high. And so that leads to a pretty significant move up in your RSI, which makes it questionable about this as far as bearish divergence goes. Hope all that makes sense. A lot of information in that. Again, guys, at the end of the day, I look at the charts a lot of different ways, but I'm a price action volume trader, more like in the school of Wyckoff more than anything else. And so at the end of the day, everything reverts back to what are my candles doing with my volume. That's what it comes down to, and understanding how to apply the candle to the volume, and then that pair of candle and volume to the correct other pair of candle and volume to get an actionable kind of look at what's going on there. If we look at the weekly, we had this downtrend here and then this bullish engulfing, and right now we're kind of confirming that reversal of this right here, which just found its support right here in the previous week's demand structure, as you can see right there. And again, if we're looking at this as a structure here, as a Wyckoff structure, right? Let me see, do we showing up on this one? It's still showing up on there. So if we look at this as a range here, what we notice is there's been a decline in volume throughout the range. And then now that we're trying to push up and break out, volume is expanding. Candle spreads are expanding. And so this is usually telltale signs of accumulation or reaccumulation. Again, as the range develops, your volume should be dropping off. That's because your bigger players are taking a lot more of that what do you call it, weak hands, taking the supply out of those weak hands, those that would sell earlier. And so if those with the weak hands are not able to get their hands on more that they can sell soon, then overall volume continues to drop off. And that's what you should generally see in an accumulation or reaccumulation structure. Now, obviously, there's a lot more to it, but in general, that's one of the things you're going to look for. And then what you want to see is some expansion of volume and candle spread as you're coming off the lows in that volume as it breaks out. It's getting ready to do that. So, when I'm looking at that, again, I'm looking at, probably. The other way I can look at this is here on the weekly. Again, selling climax, automatic rally, spring, secondary test. Spring's volume's way up here. Secondary test here, volume is way down low. And this is a secondary test of specifically of this candle right here. And because it does not drop below it, and it's much, much less volume, that's a successful test. And so that should tell us then that we should be moving up and out. So, just different ways to look at that kind of suggest that this is quite potentially accumulation rather than redistribution in there. So you get your distribution here, you get your reaccumulation right here, and ultimately you're just in this range right here. Or you can look at this as this bigger thing here. This creates this range right here, again, which just becomes, this is your preliminary supply, breaks down, you got to change a character here, moves up to your buying climax here, which creates this distribution, which comes on down into potentially some reaccumulation here. Look for a break back up. But nothing's confirmed just yet. But that's how I would read that and look at that and say, well, yeah, there's a good possibility that that bottom's in right there. So, yeah. So hope that makes sense there. Let me kind of catch up with you guys. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at anyway on this. Really just looking to continue trading these shorter term time frames here. If you follow me on Twitter, then I posted when we had the breakout of this local range here. I posted a 5-minute chart with this reaccumulation here in the breakout. Saying, hey, that's what it was right there. And had you gone long there, of course, would have made a lot of potential money off that on that move up there. So we're going to see what happens right here. Do we break out, or do we fall here and then break out, or do we just keep on going down? I mean, it's really at the end of the day what we're looking at. And so, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to sit here and guarantee you anything, because only stupid people do that. Or people who are being truthfully, they're being dishonest with you and they're just trying to get your money. There is a bit, I think I saw somebody mention earlier, maybe a bear flag or a bull flag right here. And it looks like there's one right there potentially. Let's see here. Look at this chart over here. Do I have anything on that? Just that. I just didn't want to keep drawing on that other chart. I got so much stuff drawn on there as it is. Make it a little bit easier to look at this other chart here. So if you're just looking simple patterns, that's a decent looking possible flag here. Breakout from that would give you a pattern target of about $2,120 or so, $2,115 above the point of breakout on that. But, again, that would probably, the fact that it's up so close to the R3 pivot, again, still looking at price to at least, hit that 43,500 kind of area, 43,600 area at that pivot there. as I talked about earlier on the other chart. So we'll see if we get the breakout or not. What I don't really care for, I'm just going to do, oh, there we go. Now we got it. I've got off the swing high here. The one thing I don't like a lot about this is that we've got all this hugging of the top side here. And that often weakens your pattern. You should be seeing nice, strong movements from, resistance to support and whatnot. Should be seeing something like this as it goes. But instead what we have here is we have this move up here, and then it stays in the top half of that range for a bit, and then it drops off. So be careful with thinking that it has to be, but you can notice right here that we're finding resistance at the EQ, which is what you usually expect. You know, it's an area of resistance. It works as support right here. So if we can overcome that, next target becomes the descending channel resistance. You break out of that, then you're looking at about $2,115 to $2,120 above the point of breakout on that. So yeah, again, if this is a wave 1 complete here, and then if this is wave 2 complete here, ultimately, your wave 3 is up here around 45,740, and then your wave 5 is up here at 47,500, which is right there around the R4 pivot. So there's a confluence in your targets, and confluences are something worth paying attention to. But price has to stay above the swing low here. So, again, just looking at it, a cleaner chart there. 83 Madden says it's a rising wedge possible beginning at 29,000. Let's see here. This right here? What kind of wedge are you looking for? Looking for an expanding wedge? Like that? Possible. Possible. Like I said, if we're losing that low, we've got one more target there, but if we lose that, then we're looking down toward that 30, toward that 38.2 retracement. With that, if we break down below here and lose that swing low, that's what we're looking at. If we're getting below that, then we're likely headed lower. But again, same issue with this that I have with this channel. You're hugging the lower line here. You're not getting that strong movement back and forth. You're hugging this line. And that kind of weakens the pattern. But we'll see how that ends up working out with it. Look at the 26th of October, 2019. Oh, let me see here. Where are you looking at? 26th of October. Is that over here? This right here? You think this looks like this? Or are you just saying, oh, we had a pump and that's all you have to worry about? Because we get these pumps all the time. We had a pump right here. Pull back and then went. So I don't know. Here you've got the lower low and then the pump. Here you have a higher low and then the pump. There's a difference in that. Let me see here. What other differences can I find? Or are there any other differences? This one hit this is distribution here, and it hit that distribution and got rejected. In here, it's just hit the top of this range. So there's a difference in the in the type of movement that you're seeing, structurally. Yeah. So, it pops up like it, but we've got other areas where it's popped up similar as well, and has continued moving. So, I wouldn't just look at that and go, oh, it definitely needs to go down because this happened here. Again, structurally, this is different than this is here. Again, this pushed up into distribution here. this would have to push up into this distribution up here. Instead, it's just in this local range here. This one broke out of the range. You see, this is the range. Broke out of it. So, different kind of structure going on there. Usually what you get is when you have a range is you get rejected right around that range high before you break out. It's like any other resistance. Often you'll hit that, if it's a wedge or something, you'll hit that resistance, you'll pull back and then you'll break out. Or you'll hit it, pull back and then break down. So yeah, just some things to think about. Should a pivot set be given more attention weight when new? Do they diminish with duration and time until the next new pivot set? Yeah, so I often talk about that. Ultimately, their areas of support and resistance remain, but the further you move away from it, the less often that it is confirmed, the less strength it has. So when I'm looking at pivots, I keep them in mind because their support and resistance, are legitimate. But the further we get into a pivot, the less, what's the word here? The less I'm going to necessarily give it weight. I'm still going to watch it, still going to be interested in its support and resistance. But once we start getting toward the time period, the end of that time period, I won't give it as much weight until the new pivots come up, and then we'll look at that. Yeah. What are my thoughts on this chart? And you gave me a link, huh? Let me see here. Oops, if I can get that. Let's see if we can put it right here. What did I miss here? Paste. Oh, that's it. That's in no, it should be in what's it called there? I didn't. Let's see here. Right up in here, right? I'm not sure that I'm getting this chart showing up. Oh, this is what you're looking at here? Let me see here. Hey there, Armand. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I put it in TV, Hank. Yeah, my brain was not working there for a minute. Is this the chart you're interested in? What are we looking at here? Yeah. What are we looking at? I mean, it looks like basically the same thing. What is WM2NS times 2541.2? Because, I mean, you're asking me what I think of it, but it looks like exactly the same chart as what we were just looking at. Inflation corrected? I don't know. It's the same. Looks like the same dang chart. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different, I guess. This one's 39,000. This one's at 40,500. Oh, is this the, do I have it on the weekly? Oh, this is daily. Did he say look on the weekly? Yeah, Dave, you're going to have to tell me what I'm looking at here, man. I'm not sure what you're asking. Because I'm looking, I've never looked at this chart. It's the BTS USD chart. Oh, but it has more history? Oh, is that what we're looking at? Is the history here? The length of it? Oh. Well, if you're going to do that, all you got to do is this. Brave new coin. And that'll give you little, right about the same. So yeah, I mean, all you have to do is hit up that BLX chart to get the same thing there. I don't know if you guys know that. And so if I'm looking at this, I mean, there's a case to be made for a 5 waves up and done. There's a few different things that could be happening that I've gone over time and time again. Nobody wants to say this is the top of a 5 wave advance, right? Put a line from the top of 2017. Okay. And then what? What are you interested in that? You're going to have to walk me through what you're asking here. Because we put at what may be a top or may not. You know, if this thing breaks out and heads higher, you'd have to move that up higher. Or do you mean just put it horizontal? Which should hit that pivot. Yeah, it just hits that pivot there. Yeah, I mean, either way, like I said, that's that pivot there. And as long as you're above that, you know, if you're dropping below that, then things get interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Just that support from 2017 there. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's interesting. Back when we were doing all this, you know, everybody was saying, oh, 2016. I said, well, if it's going to repeat it, or 2014, 15. I said, if it's going to repeat anything, it's probably repeating 2012, 13, whatever going here. So Hank and anybody else that was with me back then could, you know, probably remember me saying that. You know, and so I would think maybe we might have something more, you know, similar to this maybe heading up here. But if that's the case, you know, again, this right here is just this right here. Working for that further, little bit further breakout there to finish up. Yeah. Because you get this as potentially a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potentially. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potentially. But look at it on the chart you asked before. Doggone it. Let me see if I can find it here again. All right. From 2017. Let's see here. Oh, I see what you're looking for, where it's bopping on there. Okay. I see what you're looking at. Now your chart makes sense. Thank you for walking me through it. Interesting. Interesting, I guess. I'll have to do more research on what exactly this all is. Inflation adjusted or whatever, I guess. So yeah. That's interesting. I don't know that it's really significant or anything. I don't normally, if this is an inflation adjusted chart, I don't normally deal with that. There, you know, you don't have to. The regular charts work just fine. But it definitely is interesting. So, I guess, you know, if you needed a reason for this to be a reversal off here, other than what I've already talked about, I mean, I guess you could find one in this move right here. Can I get this out here? You know, and that would be similar. I guess if we're going to look here, if we're going to do this, I guess that would be similar. It didn't quite hit it, but it got pretty close to it. It's going to be a similar thing right there. And, you know, probably right here as well. I mean, all it is, you know, is this retracement toward the previous area of resistance. Sometimes it comes all the way down. Sometimes it just comes near it. Yeah, Diego, it's interesting. I mean, yeah, again, you know, I don't know that we necessarily need it to give support to any idea that it may be doing one thing or another, but it's a different way of looking at it. Like I said, I'm going to have to do more research to figure out what this chart is. If it is inflation adjusted. Oh, Dave is saying it's inflation adjusted. Yeah, you know, again, I've never, in, you know, 25 years of doing this, I've never charted a inflation adjusted chart. Never needed to. You know, the other regular charts work just fine. But definitely interesting. Something interesting to look at for sure. I appreciate it. Appreciate you showing up with it. Hey there, Darren. Good to see you. Let me see here. Somebody was asking for Hex USDC. Hex USDC. I can't even say it. Let me see here. Let's look here real quick. Hex USDC. And let's go and pull up that chart. Here we will not save that chart. Let's see here, USDC. What we got here? Why you guys always ask about these ugly charts? You got a lot of demand down in here. You got this demand structure down here on the 1 hour, 4 hour. That's all demand right there, sitting there waiting. Zoom out to the daily. Yeah, all it did was hit that pivot and bounce back up. Oh, excuse me. Let's see here. Try to look at some things to see what's the easiest way to look at this at the moment. I mean, you can see that right there. Generally moving from this swing low down here in November of 20. You know, finding resistance at that line there at the top, finding support at the bottom. EQ works really well as support and resistance along the way. And then especially with that touch right there. No bearish divergence there. Daily Stochk RSI is almost bottomed out. Oversold. If I'm looking at this, my thought is, and I'll even just look at the daily here. So in this wick here is going to be a whole bunch of demand. And so further downside, I would be looking at trying to get a reversal here off this EQ, which as you can see is really this previous area of resistance here. So right around that 0.098. From that, what I want to see is a breakout above this swing high over here. Basically the R3 pivot area right there. So that's at 0.1515. I want to see a breakout above that. Now there might be a clue, a sooner clue that the bottom may be in. Getting a breakout above this resistance level right here. So if I'm looking at this, further downside, I would look for a reversal around this 0.09805 area at the EQ of that daily demand. And, you know, a breakout of this descending red resistance here will be my first clue that the bottom may be in. But I want to see a breakout above this swing high here at 0.15154 to add more confidence to the idea that that bottom may be in on that. Let me see here. If we look at this way, again, you know, that if we make it down to that area, that would find support on this ascending channel support here, which we've already got right here, so we really don't need to. But if we can get that breakout above this this horizontal line there at 0.15154, my initial target would be this large ascending channel resistance, which is likely to find it right at the swing high here. So really just kind of that swing high right there would be the first target. If we can get breakout of that, I'm looking at this ascending channel resistance as the next target on that. And that gives us then a touch at the top, touch at the bottom. Look for a touch at the top again. Yeah. That's what I'd look at there. So yeah. Let me kind of catch up with you guys. If whales want to buy more Bitcoin, they will dump price back to the market structure, back to 10K. Well, first of all, the whales don't control the market. If the market is bullish, whales are just going to waste their money selling into it. What we also know is that those whales that are holding those large wallets are already, they've been accumulating huge down here. We already know that. On-chain metrics show that. There's been a huge increase in their wallet size in this area. So the idea that they're just going to, try and push it all the way down to 10, it doesn't make any sense. So yeah. No, I don't know it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It really doesn't. Again, on-chain metrics alone, have shown this huge accumulation going on in this area, which would, again, find confluence with my idea of this being accumulation range here, looking at that volume and price action here. So, again, your major lows here, and here show dwindling supply. There's less and less interest to sell. A lot of interest selling down here. Still a decent bit of interest, but much less than volume compared to the previous volume here. And then this one couldn't even make a lower low, and it had even half less volume than what we had at the previous low there. So no real interest in selling as we went through the range there, which is leading to, this is a good markup right here, interior markup. I mean, if I'm looking at this, I'm saying stopping phase A, phase A, stopping phase here, phase B, phase C, phase D is your interior markup, and then I'd look for a breakout there for phase E for that exterior markup. I mean, I think that's what it says here more likely than not at the moment. But we need to see that breakout still, as it does. But just the volume isn't very distribution-y, which is what it should be. You should be seeing a lot more spikes of volume, keep out there rather than this diminishing volume as you end up going through that range there. So yeah, I mean, that's how I look at it. I don't think there's any whales out there trying to push it to 10,000. If it goes to 10,000, it's because the market is not bullish. That's why. It's not because, some group of large holders got together and said, oh, let's all get together and push the price down, which is what that kind of insinuates, what you're saying there. And that isn't the way it works. Hey, John, this is Chris. Let's get Fred and Paul in on this, and let's all go sell it so we can get everybody else's money down around 10,000, and then we can buy it all up when it gets above 30,000. See, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Yeah. But, just my thoughts on that right now anyway. Let me see here. Thoughts on CQT, USDT? Yeah, let's find out. CQT, USDT. Let's see here. I don't know which one's got the longer. Man, why you guys got to do this? These are awful charts. There's no real history to look at. There's no volume on this. Is there volume on the other one, on the OKX? What the heck's going on here? Oh, I don't have volume on this chart. What's up with that? What the heck happened there? Oh, because I pulled it off the other one. That's why. All right, let me throw some volume on here real quick. Jeez, oh whiz. Oh, this is awful. What we got going on here? Now we got a range of lessening volume here. I mean, we've got a range. So that's it right there. So selling climax, automatic rally. We're getting lower highs here, which most often suggests that we're going to have a lower low. So we might see this still hit a spring here and come up. The daily, you know, Stochh RSI is well overbought. Let's get in the 4 hour here. Let's see here. You had a chance to buy right here with some bullish divergence on the 4 hour. It would have netted you a little bit running into this previous area of support as resistance. That's awful. Yeah, I mean, I'm not overly excited about this at the moment. Again, with the range here being what it is. Selling climax here. Automatic rally, I guess, would be right there. Thrust up. But then we come on down here. We have to see, are we going to get, you know, this is all phase B right here probably. So we might be able to make a run to the range highs. Look at the 1 hour here. Everything's so high though. I mean, we're almost overbought Stochh RSI on the 1 hour. We're about to break back out into overbought there. We're just hovering right above the pivot but below the swing high. There's really not a whole lot of information on this chart right now. Try to see if there's anything I can maybe pull out of this. If you're not able to break out above this swing high, but you break down below the swing low first, so we'll just watch locally this range right here. And so if you don't break out, but you do instead break down, you're probably going to see a lower low. You could probably just look for an immediate lower low at the S1 pivot here on the 4 hour at about 0.308, or potentially as low down as the S2 here at 0.27. Let's see here. Nothing really fun about this chart. It's just too little information to really get a view on it, but it looks like we're trying to push up now. If we can get a breakout of this range, your initial target should be then this range high right here, this supply structure on the 4 hour, actually in this wick here. That would be my first area of interest if we can break out above that swing high. And then beyond that, of course, you're going to want to be interested in this area up here. You can see that we hit this supply structure right here. You see how we almost hit the EQ of that? Whoops. And we were rejected. So if we can make it back up into that, that should then break out. We went pretty deep into it that first move. And that's why I was rejected. You know, it pushed up so hard and then was rejected so hard coming down. Found support at the EQ and then lost that. Support at the range lows. rejected around the EQ, supported the range lows, rejected it around the EQ, kind of as it plays out there. So, yeah, look at that. But there really is no real, there isn't a whole lot of information on here that gives you any real clear, oh yeah, it looks like we're doing this or that. It's still pretty new. So just if you're trading it, I just would suggest to remain cautious. But if you can make it back up into this this 4-hour supply structure here, it should break out above it. And then in which case you need to, break out here above kind of this level here. Right up here at around 0.68. That would be your next target there. And if you can make it out of that, then you should be targeting the range or the highs up here and breaking out likely. Breaking out of that, I'm thinking. It's not showing up on that's the only place it's showing up for as far as charts go on TradingView. So I can't pull up that FTX chart. So, but possible. The one thing I do like about this range is the volume is dropping off. So your lows right here is this one. That low got more, but then this low here got a lot less. Overall, volume seems to be dropping off on your lows, which is what you want to see. You don't want to see a lot of interest on them lows. If you're trying to accumulate, that accumulation and stuff, when that range is about finished and you get that interior markup, that's when you should see volume probably ramping up a bit and getting larger candle spreads. But through the range here, still down. But again, if this is phase A, this is likely still phase B here, which means we could have a move up and then a move down and print an LPS or a spring and then move up, and that'll be that'll be your phase C, and then it'll move up. So I don't necessarily think you're going to see something like this. I think if this is accumulation, what you're likely to see maybe is something like this or here, and then either a pullback toward this area here for an LPS and then the breakout, or you'll see dropping down to a spring and then the breakout. I don't think this is distribution here. It could be, but I don't think so. The volume doesn't suggest that yet, but we're if this is still phase B, we're still really early into the range. I don't see any clue that it is phase C. So I'm assuming it's phase B still, and so there's still a lot of information to be gleaned from that. But again, break out of the green, look for the 4-hour supply structure here. Break out above that, look for the range highs. If you can break into this supply structure on the 4-hour, this large one, then most likely you should, even if you pull back first, you should continue up through it. And to me, that says, well, this is probably accumulation, which means even though we've got our targets here and here, ultimately price should head up higher. Yeah. Let me see here. Gotta keep up with you guys. Let me see here. Look at FRM USDT. Let's see. Let's not get excited because it moved up hard. That's always a dangerous thing because, a lot of times retail traders, they see these large candles and they get all excited and they enter what happens to be the top before it goes back against them. So be careful about that. But locally here, I'm interested in that as a range. And we've got expanding candle spreads, so larger candle spreads coming out. We've got expanding volume. That's usually indicative of a trend. Let's see here. Volume a little bit less than what we had over here, so volume there. Why did that change? It used to be change that color. Let me do this. So yeah, so you've got this volume over here, and then you've got this volume over here. Whoops. Try that one more time. And so, you've got a little bit less volume here. There was definitely a lot of supply coming in right here, which is why price got sent backwards. But then there was just no follow through down here. Look at that volume, much less than what you had here. So they just did this here looks like to maybe accumulate a bit more here and send it up. So you can get a pattern target based on the height of this range here, which should take you right there to the basically to that R1 pivot, which if you look sideways here is just this daily supply structure. Right there. So yeah, I mean, it looks like it should be heading up here toward a minimum of 0.30. Let's see here. Hate when that happens. Oh, let's see here. If we go with these lows here. Locally, that'll give us this right here. Just kind of had the breakout there. So based off this, you might actually be looking at a pattern target. I just don't like the way that it peaked out here and dropped back and then up and dropped back and then finally broke out. That would give you that target up there around 0.40, but I'm more interested in this right here, maybe. Let's see if we can do it this way. Dagnammit. That's the problem with you working on big movements with log charts. You gotta finagle around with this a bit. But let's see here, we'll do something like that, bring it down a little bit more. See that's that resistance I'm interested in. Yeah, that looks much better. Coming right off there. Yeah, that I'm more interested in that. So I think that'll give a better pattern target there. And as you can see, that just gets you up there to 0.3665. And I do that because it takes you right into this supply structure right here. See right there at the EQ. So that's what I look for, those EQ, those right there. All wicks are supply and supply or demand structures. Not all supply or demand structures are wicks. So if you guys are good with logic, you understand what I just said there. If not, you're going to think that the only place you can find supply and demand structures are in wicks. Let me see here. I know a lot of you guys get into the whole, fundamentals. Oh, so-and-so likes this or so-and-so, or it's going to be some great project or something. I just want to warn you guys, often that's going to lose you money, in the long term. with crypto. Crypto is still largely just speculative. And so, I would be careful when you do that. The charts are going to be a lot more helpful than anything else. But, just as a thought there. But yeah, I think if we're heading up here, we're probably headed up, toward these range highs up here, or toward the all-time highs up here. We should be heading up there. So yeah, but locally, 0.30, 0.367 targets. So yeah. High or low, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Michael Otis, are you talking about the one you talked about? Or maybe you're talking to Hank. Oh, okay. Yeah, again, I don't buy or sell anything based on, all that other stuff out there. Not in crypto. You're going to get burned more times than not. There were a lot of people who swore up and down this thing and that thing that had all these great rounds of funding and all these great ideas and all this, and yet those things all just died off. We've seen that since 2017 easily. So I don't know. For me, that stuff doesn't matter. The chart looks decent. Like I said on the other one, the CQT, which I think is what Michael's still talking about there. Again, the chart, if it's doing what I'm looking for it to do, then it makes sense. But if you get a lot more than a dip here for a spring, and a spring should be down and right back up. If you're getting further than that, then, it becomes questionable, and you just wait for a better buying opportunity. Wait for the charts to give you a reason to buy. But, again, that's my personal way that I trade, guys, here with crypto. Yeah. So yeah, there we kind of are looking at that again. Getting back up here, let me zoom back into the Bitcoin here. Whoops. Good times with the buttons, right, guys? So Bitcoin not looking terrible at the moment, but again, we need to see some impulsive movement up through. You want to see some going through some. You want to see some impulsiveness kicking in. Definitely right here on the 1 hour, it looks like it could be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a 5 maybe still coming up, and then pull back, go on. Could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But again, until you're dropping below that swing low, I think you just kind of look toward the upside on that right now. Let me see here. I think, yeah. Let me look real quick here at the stock market. Real quick. What do we got here? We've got, you gotta save this, and then we'll go off this one over here. Guys, dog it. Try it again. There we go. So not looking all that healthy this morning yet. As you can see here, I can get 5 down, and it looks like potentially 3 up. And then there was this large gap down at the open, which hasn't really followed through. So like what I told Discord was, big picture is if we're dropping below the purple, we'll head it down probably toward around 14,340. If we're breaking out above the red, we're probably heading up toward around 15,147. Again, if we do drop below here from this area, that's looking like a 1, 2 there. Pretty deep too, but a 2 nonetheless. And that might even get you going, once you look through that initial target there, You can then look down here at 14,253.64. And so, you know, again, get a wave 3 right toward this, and then a wave 5 just below this wave 4. Swing low here, which all this means is this becomes 5 up instead of basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's done there. It becomes done and it becomes 5 if we break down below this wave 4 swing low here. And at that point, this is all distribution. We're heading lower. If I look at that, see, it's hard to do it without volume as far as Wyckoff. You can't do it properly without volume. A lot of people bet they'll throw little, you know, the schematics up there and they'll say, oh, look, it's this or that. But at the end of the day, guys, if somebody's doing, they're not talking about volume, they're not doing a Wyckoff analysis. I guess maybe... See, this wave 4 drops just right above this wave 1 before it rallies back up. I was looking at maybe this could be A, B, C, D, and we'll get an E here on a megaphone pattern or an inverted symmetrical triangle, which is rare, but it could be right here. It's what we looked at larger on the S&P. So I mean, it is possible maybe ABC down for A, B, C, D, and then E, and you'll want this to come down here, but then we, you know, really kind of potentially dipping into wave 1 here. And if it dips into wave 1, that's going to have to be an ending diagonal, which means these have to be 1, you know, all of them have to be, you know, corrective. So wave 1 has to be just an ABC. Wave 3 has to be an ABC. Wave 5 would have to be an ABC. But anyway, locally here, for right now, with what we know, breakout above the swing high at the red, probably headed up to 15,147. Drop down below the purple, look at 14,340, and then 14,253 after that. So... yeah, if Amazon's down, you know, things like Amazon and Tesla and Apple and stuff, or not Tesla, I guess, but because Tesla's with the S&P, but Amazon and, you know, other techs, you know, especially larger name techs, if they're down, you know, it's you're going to find a lot of pain with NASDAQ and potentially with the S&P. NASDAQ, very heavy tech, and then S&P, pretty heavy tech, not as much, but tech there. What is going on here? Well, what's going on here? I do not know, but let's look at here. So I guess if you're talking about it, you're talking about this range right here. In which case, you'd be looking at this as the buying climax. Mr. Winthorpe? Let me see here. See how overall here... see how you have a lot more of these spikes throughout this? It isn't just like the other one where we're showing you where it was just this couple of spikes that were all lower and just overall volume down. You see how overall volume here still continues to spike up and in there? That would look more indicative of possible distribution. Possible. Just a quick, you know, a cursory glance at the volume and what's going on here. See all this volume? See what I'm saying here? See how the volume differs with this one than it did with the other one I was showing you? Lots of volume spikes here, all in that same area as we're going through the range. Whereas the other one was just the spikes at the lows, but they were all lower as it was doing it. But there were no spikes at the highs, so there was no selling really going on at the highs. Significant selling. This one, we got them at the highs, got them at the lows, got them at the highs, got them at the highs here again. When you're seeing that spike of volume come in, that's selling coming in. And that's buyers meeting that selling, demand meeting the supply coming in there. But nonetheless, you're getting supply dumped on the market. And so in this case, preliminary supply, buying climax, automatic reaction, ST, show of weakness or sign of weakness here. And then we come up with, you could maybe look at this as an upthrust and then an upthrust after distribution here. You've got this strong gap down. Even though earnings were good, earnings were a surprise 2.89 to the upside. And yet it's still tanked on it. So what you're going to want to see is lower highs coming down through here now. And if you get a breakdown below the swing low here, that starts looking like a show of weakness, fall through the ice. And then what you want to see is if it breaks up, it might break back up into it, but you want to see it get rejected right around the EQ here where this high volume node is, right around the 3191 if it pushes up in there. And then continues down into markdown. But yeah, I think this makes a good case at the moment for possible distribution. Just based on the quick glance of the volume coming at the highs and lows, spikes of it everywhere. Especially in the highs here. See right here and right here. There's no real selling going on here. I mean, there's a little bit of a spike, but not a huge bit, right? You got larger spikes coming at the swing highs here. Here. And then finally, your volume's really kind of ramping up here on this move down. So, again, your volume coming in at these swing highs here. And then, like I said, you see the volume over here expanding. Oops. Lord have mercy. Let's see if we can get this here. Come on. See that volume expanding on that breakdown there. Large gap here as well. Not an island reversal because you have this dip below right here. And your gaps need to be in the same, they need to overlap to be an island reversal. But nonetheless, that's a strong gap down there. If you're losing this high volume node here, I think really you're just kind of going down and then breaking up, and they're getting rejected right around right around 3,000 or so, or you're getting rejected up here at around 3,180, 3,200 kind of area. But I think either way, it makes a good case for rejection if it loses this high volume node, the EQ of this area here. A lot going on with that volume in there to suggest that there's possibly distribution heading on here. So yeah. So, oh man, it's just about time to get out of here, guys. Hey, listen, I did that that I mentioned earlier. I gave you that link for that 14 days free trial for Motive Wave. This is what it looks like here. Again, you've got all this great stuff. Let me see if I can pull it over here a little bit. You can do with it. Whoops. So I can grab it. There we go. So you got your little panel over here with all these different things. You can with Motive Wave, you can decide how much you want to get with it. You don't have to buy the full everything. I bought the Elliott Wave Ultimate, which has everything: Hurst cycles, GAN, harmonic patterns, all that kind of stuff. Here, like I said, you've got your scanner. You can set up your scanner. If you were looking for Wave E's there on your scanner, you hit the start. You let it know if you want to look at forex pairs or equities or cryptos or whatever you want to look at. And then it tells you, when you set up your scanners, you tell it what time frames you want it to look at, what do you want it to look at, forex and equities or whatever. And so then it tells you, using all that information, it tells you, on the weekly here, potential wavy of a triangle. It's, price is potentially in wavy of a triangle. Fair chance, it tells you right here. Fair, good, very good, excellent. All those things there. Like I said, you could get it to do automatic wave counts here. So if I wanted to right here, for instance, let's just say we wanted to pull off of with what we have here. You can do it right here, and it'll set an automatic count in there for you. And that's just based on this information right here. If you take it from another area, though, it may give you a different count because it's always just based on where you're at. So let's get rid of all these. You could try right down here. But you still have to know what you're doing, so that way you can find out what's going on there. See, this one says potentially an AB right here. But it just depends on the time frame you're working with and the information it's given. You can click in there and go to decompose 2 levels. And I'll give you how everything else is here. Again, you can kind of just go off through here. And then, you could start up here if you wanted. Kind of see that larger term, what may be the count. You can continue going over, to over here as well. So there's a lot that you can do with this as far as the Elliott Wave count goes. And like I said, this is just using this large. What is this? This is the daily here, and doing that. See, that one gives you that right there. And so if you go all the way back there, decompose, potentially 1, looking at 2. Click on that, decompose that down. Oh, I got to zoom in a bit. But again, you got your times down here, your hourlies, whatever you want to look at here. A lot of possibility going on. There. So, if you go here, it says, okay, maybe this is A and this is B, and then you've got a 1 here. And you go 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, finishing off here. But it helps you it helps you to real quick look at it. And like I said, you have your scans that you can do as well. You've got harmonic pattern scans that you can do right here. And again, you set it up, you bring it in there. It'll look for harmonic patterns if that's your thing. Oh, I've got one already set there. But it'll pull it here. Like I said, it'll tell you pattern, and then it'll tell you your score there. Look at that. It thinks the Aussie dollar against the New Zealand dollar on the daily, there's an excellent chance that you've got a Gartley on there. And so you bring it up here, and that says that you're coming down to a minimum of 1.02754 and potentially 1.02197 if those are your things. So, a lot of stuff that you can do here. Oh, man, no. The charting stuff's better than TV. Yeah, no. Your TV, your TradingView, guys, it's a good platform. It's good for beginners, but you have very little power with it. There isn't a whole lot you can do with it, And then you have the other side, the other thing that I use, which is Sierra charts, which you guys have seen me use that. It's very, very, it has a strong learning curve because you have so much power. You can change so much with it, right? And this is kind of like the good in between. It gives you a lot of power, but the learning curve isn't anywhere near as steep as Sierra charts. And so you can do order flow on this. You can do all those other things with it as well. So best thing to do would be use my link that I had in there for you guys. Sign up for a 14-day free trial first. Test it out first. See what you like about it. You can buy it outright. You can buy it in payments. You can lease it. And then you can whatever bundle you want to do as well. You don't have to do everything. Like I said, I purchased this and I got, everything. I use everything that's with it. So that's the ultimate Elliott Wave and everything else. So it comes with the scanners and all that. But, again, I've got, like you can see right up, you got volume profile, TPO charts, order flow, all that stuff, Elliott Wave markers, harmonics, GAN, Fibonacci stuff. Other markers that you can put for your charts here, commentary, general stuff. You know, everything that you have on TradingView and a lot more. So definitely the more powerful thing to do. But like I said, TradingView is great if you're a new trader and you're really not interested in having all this kind of power. But what you find is as you become a trader over time, a better and better trader, you're going to want that power. You're going to want more, to have more control over what's going on. And that's what I'll do here. So anyway, just wanted to show you guys that for there real quick. I know I'm over here. I got to get going. But hopefully I've helped you guys figure out a few things, maybe learn a few things, or at least kept you entertained somewhat. As always, I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Don't forget, you can still join us through Sunday at that huge discounted rate for 6-month or annual Tier 3 membership. And you can get yourself set. I'm working on putting together options training right now. I'm also working at setting up alerts and things coming in from some other services that I subscribe to give you guys alerts when price is doing something that should be interesting to you. Stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff all coming up here as we move out of Q3 and into Q4. So we'd love to have you with us. howtotradetowin.com. Use the code that I gave you guys at the beginning of the stream. Let me see here. I hope you guys, again, have a great weekend. Trade safe. Remember, the only thing you control in the market is how much you lose. So keep on working on risk management, okay? It is absolutely more important than anything I've talked about here. Risk management. It is where you make your money, all right? It's the most important thing you do as a trader day in and day out. I hope you guys have a fantastic, fantastic day, fantastic week. And I'll see y'all on Tuesday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Take care.